Hello, everyone. Over the past couple of months, we've been having various conversations. All these have been themed under our We Care program, and we've been also focusing on opportunities to learn and grow. A number of you have then come up and said, what more would you like to listen to? And that is leadership. So we've thought about it and we said, instead of going outside and looking for various leadership gurus, why not start this conversation internally? So today, Anders and I are going to have this conversation where we will attempt to address the questions that you have put forward to us. And we'll also share with you our thoughts around what leadership really is and how we see ourselves in this organization as leaders and what our thoughts and perceptions are of leadership. I think a good place to start is by actually defining leadership. We throw around the word leadership, but it means different things to different people. So let's start with, what do you think leadership is?
First of all, I think it's important to realize that leadership isn't, of course, only on a CEO level. Leadership is anyone who leads people in an organization, if that is in a supervisory role, a manager role, whatever. The same traits, the same way of operating on that level relates to any other level of the organization. And maybe the scope, of course, is different, or the responsibility, but it's still leadership.
Mm-hmm. I think to expound on that as well, there's this theory of everyone a leader. And one of the ways in which leadership resounds with me is when people start to see themselves as leaders in whatever role they're in, because we are all responsible for something. It may just be a task, it may be resources. So like you, I don't see leadership as just the hierarchy in the organization, but more the way in which people choose to interact with others in the workplace.
It's for sure not a hierarchical thing, and it's very easy to misinterpret it that the leadership always sits in the top.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership goes through the whole organization. It is very important, as you say, that people take leadership of their own actions, their own responsibility, and of course, especially if they then have people reporting to them.
Mm-hmm. However, senior leaders in an organization obviously have a very special place because they're looked up to for providing direction to the organization, for guiding the organization. Now, I think that's one point that we can tap into a bit more and speak to, because that's a specific role that comes with the hierarchical position in the organization.
Power distance, as to say, between leaders and other people in the organization, it differs a lot around the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know where I come from, the power distance is very low, so anyone would at any time step into the office of a senior manager without any problem. I think a little bit what we have in this part of the world is that the power distance is very big.
Yeah.
And I think we try to work a lot to try to make that distance less, so that we can have a good, easy interaction with staff.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be that you put the leader on a pedestal. We all people, we're all having the same goals, the same thing we try to achieve.
Absolutely. And I think we started to see a lot of that last year when we started to bring together, this new group culture that we are trying to cultivate across the organization. And when we went out and started to have conversations about what is our mission, what is our values, we started to see people resonate with that and articulate it in ways that made sense to them. I'd like us to talk about how have we done that and what do we see ourselves doing going forward to make that actually come to life, because this year has been a bit different, and maybe some of those messages have stagnated somewhere. But what more can we do to just make sure that we're driving forward those messages?
But to start out around that, I think we had a number of, when we did the roadshow and we decided to do that as a team, I think we had a number of different objectives with that one. One is, of course, rolling out the future strategy where the group want to go, and also work a lot on the foundation, the legacy, the history of the group, which we then try to put together through the values that we have defined.
Yeah.
But I think another very important thing with that was just to get out and interact with the organization and get closer to people, giving people a chance to ask questions, challenge what we're doing and so forth. And I think the whole thing on closer to the organization, when we did that, I think that was hopefully a positive sign for the organization.
Absolutely. One of the things that really resonated with me during that time is that I feel we started to break down some of that, what you've described as the power distance, because occasionally you do get direct messages and conversations going with people that would ordinarily not have reached out to say, good job, or yeah, this you're on track with and that you're not on track with. And I think we need, as an organization, to cultivate a lot more of that so that all those issues, are surfaced, and together we work on addressing whatever it is we need to as an organization.
It's probably one of the most important things for management to really understand what is the concern of people out there. And of course, you sense that the closer you are to the organization. And of course, very unfortunate during this time is that we have not had the opportunity to travel and be close to people out there. We don't travel out there to try to control and see the people really doing the right things. I mean, we are mainly out there to understand what are issues, how can we support, how can we help the organization going forward.